Hey everybody, it's the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition, playing a little pitch and catch with my nephew Caleb.
Hey guys.
He's the next Jerry Rice. Want to show him?
Yeah,
Let's do
go.
it. You're gonna love this. Ready, set, go! Let's start the show.
The receivers get far enough down the field. Rodgers in trouble. It's going to get there. He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. A game ender for the Packers. Total disbelief at Ford Field. The Packers saved by the face mask call, given one last chance. And Aaron Rodgers heaves it as far as he can. And Richard Rodgers boxing out in the end zone for the touchdown.
End of the game here if they don't get 20 yards. There goes Rodgers again, all the way downfield, and it's going to be caught by Janis. He resets Starks. They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away, throws it up in the air, says a prayer, and Janis does it.
Stop it!
Oh, please!
What a catch!
That's insane.
All year, but watch this throw. I cannot believe that he got that into the end zone.
That's a play you call in a street game.
Yeah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show. Yes, vintage Aaron Rodgers, a Packer no more. But wow, that was the last fading images of the greatness of Aaron in the green and gold. Welcome to the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition with nephew Caleb Lopes, who is the defensive back and field goal kicker for the Treasure Coast Patriots down in Port St. Lucie, Florida, who just happened to be the number one team, according to SI Prospects, that's Sports Illustrated, for the AAU 13 team in the country. Caleb, welcome to the show.
What's up, Maurice?
Man, everything's good. Everything's good, man. I feel salty about Aaron being a dadgum Jet now. He's with the New York Jets. And I got to root for this guy behind me here, Jordan Love. Hopefully he won't let me down. And
hopefully he won't.
Yeah, hopefully he won't let me down and keep the tradition going in the green and gold. And we're talking about, and we're going before we dive into the show, let's talk a little bit about your football team down in Port St. Lucie, Florida, headed by Coach Mons of the Treasure Coast Patriots, number one team in the country, according to Prospects SI, Sports Illustrated, Sports Illustrated, AAU 13. Tell us a little bit about your team this year and what the schedule's looking like.
We won AAU National in June, early June, and our regular season's coming up in August, and we might have a few more games in between then. Might play a game in a week or two. But, yeah, everything's been going good. We've been practicing. Yeah.
Okay, and you guys and when's your first game again?
August 6th.
August 6th, sure. And you guys are playing who?
We don't have our games yet, but that's the only thing we know is the date.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to talk about some NFL. We're going to be waiting with bated breath for your season coming up. You guys have been dominating, I'll tell you that right now, and played some of the best teams in the country and showed why you're number one. So we're definitely going to be tracking the Treasure Coast Patriots, and we're going to have your coach Mons on the team, along with his son, who's the star quarterback of the team, Champ, and yourself in the near future. So, folks, stand by for that. We're going to dive into training camp news, the latest NFL news. And my first question I want to put out there to the universe is, can Aaron Rodgers, the Aaron Rodgers, take the Jets to the Super Bowl? Your opinion of that, Caleb?
To the Super Bowl, I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but he'll take them pretty far, maybe second round of playoffs, but I don't think he's going to the Super Bowl just yet. Maybe next year or in a few years if he stays there. But
well, and that's what a lot of people were talking about. Will Aaron stay? He, I think, is planning on, based on his contract, staying in Green. I'm sorry, almost said Green Bay. In New York with the Jets for some time. He thinks that he's going to do as well as Tom Brady. Let's just put it out into the universe right now. And I love Aaron Rodgers. You know, that's my dude. He ain't Tom Brady.
Nah, not close.
But let's just get that understood right now. He ain't Tom Brady. I've watched him for years, and he seems to think that he is for some reason on some level. Here's the reality. He's only been to the Super Bowl one time. He won it when he got there. Tom Brady's been there 10 times. He's got 7 rings, and one of which he got with a guy that was with another team. I mean, he went to Tampa Bay after being in New England for all those years. So I don't know if he can, do all these different things. But the biggest problem that he's having is the schedule. The schedule this year for the Jets is pretty murderous. Have you had a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I was looking at it before the show, and it is, oh my goodness, it's crazy. They are going to get the beginning of the season, especially, probably going to get off to maybe even a 0-3 start.
Well, and there's a good reason to guess that it may be that. I mean, they got to start out with the Buffalo Bills to start the season off on Monday Night Football, and that it's going to be in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But I mean, can you go out there and beat the Bills on Monday night right out of the gate with Josh Allen, the Bills expecting in their own right to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, I can't see that happening. I can't see the Jets going and beating the Bills on first game, especially first game of the season. And the Bills right now, they're looking like favorites to go to the Super Bowl too. We'll be talking about that later.
Well, let's look at this thing step by step. Their next game is going to be in Arlington, Texas, against the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think about that one?
Cowboys we've made a lot of jokes on the show about them, but you can't deny that they're a good team, and I feel like it's gonna be a pretty good game, but I expect the Cowboys to come out on top. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
I'm going to go with you on that. I think that the thing that makes the Cowboys a joke, the fact that they get right where you think they ought to be to make a run, and then that's when they start throwing up all over themselves.
Exactly.
And so early in the year, a game that they should win at home, I could see Dak actually doing a pretty good tap dance on them. Now, that's not to say that the Jets will definitely lose this game.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, if you were going to go to Vegas, I'm putting my odds so far out of the gate on Buffalo, and I'm putting my odds on Dallas right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes you 0-2. So at that point, if it holds the line, then they got to go to New England. I'm sorry, they'll be back at East Rutherford, but it's a division game, and it's the New England Patriots. How do you call that one?
That one's gonna be close. Bill Belichick, he's always a tough guy to play against, and honestly, I could see the Jets getting out on top by that one, and I feel like the Patriots, they're not in a great position right now, and as a team, and I feel like the Jets have a way better, more talent, and they should win the game.
I go with you on that one. I think the Jets should be able to win this game. I think the Patriots are a tough out. And I think that Bill Belichick has a way of getting in a quarterback's head.
Yeah.
And but I would give this one to the Jets. I'm going to go with you on that one. But after that, they got another game at home in East Rutherford. Good for them. Here come the Kansas City Chiefs.
Honestly, the Chiefs are one scary team, and they showed that they're the next Patriots. They got they got a monarchy coming up. An empire, if you would say. And I think that's gonna be a game that the Chiefs are gonna win at least by 2 touchdowns.
In other words, a dynasty.
Yeah, dynasty. That's the word I was looking for.
Let's just go ahead and say that they're probably going to lose that game. Again, nothing. Aaron Rodgers is a great talent. The Jets have a great defense. And if they get Dalvin Cook right now, their talks are they're going to get Dalvin Cook. But Dalvin's not going to be the difference. He'll be hurt by that time that game comes around. Anyway, I'll go with you on that one and say, yeah, I've got to go with the Chiefs. There's no question about that. Week 4, October 8th at Mile High Stadium. It's the Sean Payton-led Denver Broncos. How you got that one?
Ooh, that's going to be a good game.
Okay, we just lost Caleb Lopes, my nephew, on for a moment. I guess he'll be back here in just momentarily. These things happen when you're doing virtual platform stuff. I'll go ahead and speak for him, though. I think if you look at the Denver Broncos, I mean, a Sean Payton-led Denver team. I don't know. Your thoughts again. Jets going into Denver.
Jets going into Denver. Well, I feel like it's gonna be I feel like a close game. Well, not. I got the Jets. I got the Jets in that one. They're the better team overall. But Sean Payton, again, just like the Bill Belichick situation, both great head coaches, and if you slip up on them, they're gonna take that opportunity and beat you.
Well, we're looking at a very improved offense with Aaron Rodgers, but I think Sean Payton, he's talking a lot of junk right now. I mean, Russell Wilson was putrid last year. I'm just going to tell you right now. So, based on what I saw last year, because he's not Drew Brees. Sean Payton thinks he can, make something out of it. I don't know. It remains to be seen. So, for right now, I'm going to have to agree with you again. And I think, yeah, the Jets should be able to win this one right here. But then,
yeah,
the following week, and I think this is going to be week 6 coming up here. They are going to be back at East Rutherford, but guess who comes to town? The Jalen Hurts-led Philadelphia Eagles.
Honestly, there's no need to. There's no need to elaborate. They're losing that game. There's just like it's not going to be very pretty loss either. They're losing by at least 14 points. It'll be a blowout, I'd say.
Okay. I'm gonna ride with you on that. I think the Eagles win this one. It's going to be in New York, but I got to go with the Eagles. And then week 7. It's the tale of 2 New Yorks as the Jets play the New York Giants at East Rutherford. How do you call that one? You got Saquon Barkley now. He's back with Daniel Jones in the backfield after signing his franchise tag the other day. How do you call that one?
This game is going to be I feel like it's going to be one of those not very entertaining games, probably low scoring game. And I think the Jets should be able to come out and win that game. just because they've improved there with Aaron Rodgers, and they've got a few pieces on the offense. And so, yeah, I think they should go out there and win.
Well, they should. I mean, the Giants. I mean, you get what you get. I think with Saquon Barkley, the Giants are dangerous. They're not
Yeah,
a
for
playoff.
sure.
They're not a Super Bowl threat on any level because of the guy that's calling the signals. But they are a very difficult team to play when Saquon Barkley is healthy, and I think that it could go either way in that one. I'm going to ride with you once again and just say, well, the Jets should be able. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers and a possible, Dalvin Cook signing coming up here in a day or two. Yeah, I think that's accurate. But then you have to go out to the West Coast. Actually, you're going to be back in East Rutherford, but here come Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Oh, I got the Chargers, but I feel like that game is gonna be a very a pretty interesting game. But I do got the Chargers on that one. They should go out there and win. It's because their team, Justin Herbert, just got paid. He should be able to go out there, show that he deserved that record-breaking deal that he just got against someone that he's been compared to since he got drafted into the league.
Yeah. So you're going to go with the Chargers?
Yeah.
So the next week, they got to go to Orchard Park and play the Bills. How do you call that one?
I got the Bills again. But this is going to be a closer game for sure. Because, second meeting, the teams already know each other. Teams got a little bit even kind of want revenge. But I think I got the Bills by a little bit.
I would go with the Bills once again in this one, and then they go back home and play the Miami Dolphins in New Jersey. How do you call that one?
The Dolphins. They're a weird team. Sometimes they can be great, sometimes they can just not play at all. So we're gonna have to see. What is it? Week 15?
No, that's like week 9.
Week 9. Well, we're gonna have to see then. But I got the Jets.
Yeah, I think Miami's got a problem at quarterback. Let's just keep it 100. And I really think a healthy Tua makes them a threat to win it all, but he's not healthy. He's been knocked silly a couple of times and should not have been allowed to go back on the field. I mean, he got hit so hard in the Bengal game. He was throwing up gang signs to the Bloods and the Crips. Anyway, which is that's just bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I just don't think he should be out there. I think he's one big hit away from not even being available come week 9.
Definitely.
And so I would agree with you on that. I mean, the Dolphins are hard to call. So I'm going to go with the Jets in this one. Then they've got a resurgent Washington Commander team who are going to have a completely different look this year. They're going to go with Sam Howell, the kid from North Carolina. And they're going to be I think they're playing that one in New Jersey. Actually, nix all of that. They actually are going to be playing the Falcons in New Jersey. And they should win that game. I don't even have to ask you about that one. I don't have that. And then they've got the Texans. I don't have to ask you about that one either. Yes. And then they've got Miami again for the second time around.
Like I said before, it's like, but if the Jets do win the first game against Miami, I see Miami coming out and winning the second one, and that could be flip flopped too.
And it could be flip flop. That's just how difficult it is really to measure Miami. And then the Jets have the Commanders led by Sam Howell.
It's gonna be at their stadium, right?
In New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, New Jersey. Yeah. I got the Jets. I feel like the Commanders are gonna be a better team this season, better than they did last year. But
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be that much better. So I got the Jets in this game.
And then they've got on Thursday night football, which is a very difficult time for a lot of players to have to go out there and play, but it's against the Deshaun Watson led Cleveland Browns. I got Cleveland making some noise this year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I feel like Cleveland, they're gonna like put up a pretty good season and make it at least to the playoffs. And this game is really gonna like kind of be a pretty big game for them because it shows like beating a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. It kind of puts you kind of like on the map for and so I think I got the Browns in this game with Nick Chubb being our running back. I'd say he's one of the best running backs in the league right now, and Deshaun Watson. So yeah, I got the Browns.
And I think they also have Kareem Hunt on that
Oh
team.
yeah, they do. Yeah, so that running back core is looking real nice.
And they end the season on Monday night. Actually, it's not Monday night. They just end the season at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to take on the Patriots in New England. How do you look at that one?
Uh, you know, starters are probably going to be sit down, resting for the playoffs, and so I think they lose this game. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing. So yeah, I think they lose this game. I think Bill Belichick and Mac Jones come out there and win this game.
So we've got them now. They're going to end up being like either 9-8 or 8-9, and I don't think even with a 9-8 record, that's not going to get them. In the AFC, you're not going to the playoffs at 9-8. I don't think.
Yeah,
Could be wrong.
Probably
I
not.
could be wrong, but that's the long and the short of
Yeah.
it. It's going to be a tough year. The Jets have a really, really tough schedule, but and I think they might actually win a couple of those games that we don't think they'll win.
Yeah,
They're
for
going to
sure.
be tougher than they got a nice team, but it's going to be interesting. If they don't make it, it'll be a disaster for Aaron Rodgers. I could tell you that.
A lot of these games are like you kind of like expect them. It's kind of like throwing the ball up and seeing who catches it. Could be either team.
So we'll look at the Buffalo Bills, a team that has a lot of expectations, and Josh Allen has been right there on the cusp of getting the Bills to the Super Bowl and come up short, like I think 3 years in a row in the AFC Championship. Last year, they didn't even get to the AFC Championship. They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed at home against the Bengals. And then you go, all right, what's going on in Buffalo and what's with Josh Allen? What are your thoughts this year for the Buffalo Bills?
If they don't make it this year, that window is closing. You can see it. You can tell. And these past 4 years, they've been choking a lot. And this past year against the Bengals, that was real ugly for them. And I feel like this year they're coming for revenge, and I see them making it to the Super Bowl and even maybe winning it, but it's going to be a real tough battle, especially in the AFC with all those great teams, including the Bengals and Kansas City, of course. They're never out of the picture, and it's going to be tough. But I can see Josh Allen taking them there. It's a very strong possibility.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen could get them there. I think he has to make a progression at reading defenses.
Yeah.
And decision making. That's if he gets that figured out, the Bills are looking at a potential dynasty.
For sure.
He's just had this penchant for making just unbelievable mistakes, at the wrong time. And so, yeah, and if it doesn't happen this year, they may have to blow that team up. Sean Payton, who is the new coach for the Denver Broncos, came out with some interesting comments. He ripped predecessor Nathaniel Hackett for doing a horrendous job as the Broncos head coach. Nathaniel Hackett, the predecessor, is now the OC for the Jets, who was recommended by Aaron Rodgers because he was the quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And the Broncos just sucked last year. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. And Sean Payton let the media know about it. They said, now this guy was horrible last year, which means he comes in now with the intention of turning that team around. Do you think it was fair for Sean Payton to criticize Nathaniel Hackett in that he did?
I don't ever think it's fair to talk that much smack about someone like he did, but he had a reason to. Going 4-11, I think it was, in a season, and then getting fired. It's kind of like you can't be doing that. Like, especially when you set an expectation as being at least a decent head coach or coach or in general, and going over there and putting up numbers like that. It's Sean Payton has a argument, but I wouldn't. It's not a very pretty thing to do. It's not good for your image, I'd say.
Okay, I would agree with you. However, I don't think he's lying.
Yeah, he's not. He definitely isn't.
He's not lying. The Broncos sucked. And here's the thing. Nathaniel Hackett got his publicity or attention because he was the quarterback's coach for Aaron Rodgers. Well, I got news for you. A squirrel could have been Aaron Rodgers' quarterback coach.
Yeah, when you're that talented, it's true.
No, I mean, there are a bunch of squirrels playing in a tree outside my window right now. Any one of them could have been the Aaron Rodgers coach and gotten a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Especially that one right there. He's just doing some pretty good tricks. Anyway, look, I hate it when coaches get this shine because they happen to be around greatness. And if I need to see a resume of you being substantive enough where you deserve your props. But I look, he was bad. And Sean Payton should not have said that out loud. I don't think that's a good look. He did not lie, however, in his assessment. It was just unacceptable. It just is what it is. Let's move on to Justin Herbert, who just signed a $262 million contract with the Chargers. Great quarterback. There's no question about that. My question is, did he get overpaid?
Honestly, I feel like quarterbacks, it's just going to keep getting higher and higher and higher. And that's what, if you want to keep even a decent quarterback, just like they paid, what's his name? Daniel Jones. What was it like?
Well, they gave him $42 million, which is chump change. And
yeah, exactly. But for like,
but he did deserve that. Believe me, Daniel.
Yeah, he did.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
But so if you want to keep your quarterback, you're gonna have to just keep giving them like absurd amounts of money, and I feel like there's no way of escaping that right now. And yes, I feel like it's a little bit much for someone who hasn't really shown any of the real like stats and they took them to the playoffs. They didn't even go to the playoffs last year, did they?
I think they made the wild card game and lost.
Oh yeah, see, like he hasn't shown $262 million worth of quarterback, like yeah. So yeah, he got a little bit overpaid, but it is what it is. You can't. I feel like if he would have gone to some other team that would have paid him the same amount, and the Chargers would have lost a quarterback.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the Chargers had to go to that level. I mean, based on the contract discussions with his agent, maybe they did. But here's the reality: you have to ask yourself, is he better than Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, all in the AFC, and Joe Burrows? Is he better than all of those guys, or some of them?
Honestly, I would say he's he's not better than any of them.
Okay.
I mean, like, I feel like if he keeps like working and shows that if he goes out there this year and takes them to at least like second round of playoffs and gets them a good show, like at least maybe 4,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns at the very least. And I feel like, yeah, he could start deserving that kind of money, but right now he hasn't shown that he has.
He hasn't. I think you're right in your assessment as to why he got the money. I mean, at the stage in the NFL now where quarterbacks are getting paid, they're the star of the show. And if you get an elite quarterback, and let's understand, Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback. We get that.
Yeah.
You kind of had to give him that amount. But at the end of the day, I don't think that his value is worth more than all of the aforementioned quarterbacks. There's a lot of eye candy with Justin Herbert. Guy's got great poise in the pocket. He's got a great delivery. His stance in the pocket is prototypical. I mean, the guy's a great QB, and he's got all the tools to be one of the best to ever do it. But that's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't won a playoff game.
Exactly.
So I just go, I don't think that, you're going to outpay him over those other quarterbacks. But so it's kind of a double-edged sword, or a catch-22. It's kind of like you just kind of were forced into a corner if you're the Chargers front office, and you're like, let's go ahead and pay him. I mean, he checks all the boxes.
Yeah, he really does.
We got to just be 100 about that. Justin Herbert checks all the boxes. There's no question. But he kind of reminds me of a Phillip Rivers kind of guy. And it's just this thing with the Chargers where they look great. The quarterback was great. All those years Phillip Rivers was there, and they never got it done. And Herbert, so far, it's early yet. We got a lot of football left in his career. But so far, he's kind of looking like the dude that's always going to be there but not get over the hump.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, but it's just you kind of get that vibe about Herbert, but he does check all the boxes. I ain't gonna lie to you. And at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be mad that you gave him that money, because really he's an elite quarterback, but I thought it was worth discussion. Now we're looking at running backs in the NFL who can't get their money, i.e. Saquon Barkley, who did finally, because he decided he would hold out. Sign the franchise tag with the Giants. He got $10 million, I think $2 million up front, and the contract is incentive laden. But and he can meet all the incentives. I mean, he's that kind of a back. But that being said, are running backs getting their just due in the NFL?
Definitely not. Like I saw the stat, and kickers are getting paid more than running backs right now. And as a kicker, I'm fine with that. And
I told you.
Yeah, but it's not fair. It really isn't. As a running back, as me thinking a running back's position, and like them being one of the most important pieces to a flowing good offense, them getting paid one of the top of the line running backs like Saquon getting paid $10 million. It's crazy. It does not make sense. And these teams got to do something about it, and they got to fix it.
I mean, I think there's that one also. That argument is also a double-edged sword as well, in that in the way that the NFL is played today, it doesn't allow for running backs to necessarily be the star, because a lot of these offenses are like based on passes. It's basically an offshoot of the West Coast offense, quite frankly and honestly, that was started by Bill Walsh in the early '80s and Joe Montana, and then to Steve Young, and it just kind of started getting passed around. Everybody in the NFL started adopting a form of the West Coast offense, which is, filled with lots of passes and very little running. And now we've even gotten to the point now where you can win with running by committee and have 2 and 3 backs. And so that one guy isn't necessarily needed. So there's somewhat of an argument for that. But then you go and look at the Giants and you understand, without Saquon Barkley, the Giants are terrible. They can forget it. I don't want to hear about Brian Daboll and his play calling design. I don't want to hear about Daniel Jones being that dude, because it ain't that. It's Saquon Barkley. And if they don't have him, they don't win. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't necessarily translate in every case. Running backs take a lot of pounding. They get beat up, and their shelf life isn't very long, quite frankly and honestly. I think by 27, 28, they're just about out of gas. They're so beaten up physically. Now I can see a lot of 30, 31, 32-year-old running backs in the NFL still getting it done. We live in an age now where the running back is not as durable as yesteryear. And I can go back to Jim Brown. I can go back to Walter Payton. I can go back to Gale Sayers and Barry Sanders and O.J. Simpson and Eric Dickerson and, guys like that were durable. Tony Dorsett for the Cowboys, guys that were in running heavy offenses. And Emmitt Smith for the Dallas Cowboys, and they lasted into their early 30s. And so I think the athlete today isn't as durable. I don't think they can take the pounding as much. I don't know what the reason is for that, but a lot of these guys seem to tap out earlier than they did from back in the day. So it's a big argument and a big discussion that kind of can go either way on that. It's a different game.
Honestly, I feel like what I said, that they gotta fix it. I don't think it's very rare that it's gonna get fixed, because these NFL teams, they're getting their running backs for cheap, real cheap, and that's what they want. If they don't gotta pay someone too much, they ain't gonna do it. So.
Well, no, they're not. But I think it's an interesting argument. Like I said, it could go either way. It's become quite complex in trying to really define all of this because of the way the game's played now. I mean, I go back to field goal kickers, something that are right now with the Treasure Coast Patriots. Very few teams your age have a kicker, yet you're able to do it and thrive. You've saved your team on a number of occasions just on the 13-year league that you're in. I mean, in Little League football, but look at college and the NFL. A lot of these games come down to the last second, and if you don't have a money kicker, you're not going to win that game. So there's worth in having a great kicker, and they're durable. Kicker could last into his 40s. So at the quarterback position, the way the game's played, you need a guy that can pitch it and read defense as well, and move out of the pocket. And they're highly valuable because of the way the game is played. And so there's an interesting argument for it. There's no doubt about it. But running backs have an argument. Josh Jacobs for the Raiders put up huge numbers last year. Exactly. He's unsigned. Josh Jacobs is unsigned. Dalvin Cook unsigned. And I get it that if you look deeper, Josh Jacobs had a breakout year. Prior to that, he wasn't that productive. Dalvin Cook gets injured all the time. Every time you look up, he's being carted off or he's missing like 7 games because of a nagging thigh bruise. I mean, that's been the narrative with Dalvin Cook throughout most of his career. So it's an interesting argument, certainly one for discussion. And speaking of Dalvin Cook, and running backs not being treated fairly. I mean, just your general opinion. Why has no one signed Dalvin Cook up to? We know the Jets. It looks like the latest right now is the Jets are probably going to sign Dalvin Cook. Aaron Rodgers has agreed to give up some of his salary so they can go out and get what people are saying and believe is Dalvin Cook. But why is it, in your opinion, it's been so difficult for Dalvin to sign with someone?
Like you said, he's very injury prone, and I don't think teams don't want to. They don't really want to pay. They don't want to pay someone who's not going to play maybe half the season, miss 6 games.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Then again, Dalvin Cook. He's getting pretty old, right? He's
Dalvin Cook, to my understanding, is getting to that level. I think he and Saquon Barkley are about the same age, which would put him at 20. He's 27.
Yeah. So yeah, in like NFL football standards, yeah, that's kind of close to the end of your career. And if you're not performing at a very high level and you're also injury prone, it's kind of difficult for you to get signed. So, but again, it's that thing that all these NFL teams undermining these running backs, and it really kind of isn't fair. So.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I think Dalvin is probably going to sign with the Jets today or tomorrow. They're all excited and giddy about it. The problem is, by week 4, he won't be there.
Exactly.
He'll be he'll be in a hospital room eating chips and dip and going, "Go New York!" All right, now let's switch over to the NFC and try to break down some predictions in the NFC North for starters, where Green Bay is going to be led by Jordan Love this year. You got the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings. Your opinion of that division, 1, 2, 3, 4?
Honestly, the Vikings, they've got to win it. Like, they've got to win that division. If they don't, it's just another instance of Vikings selling the bag. But I got the Vikings at 1.
Okay.
I'm kind of feeling the Lions. They might make a come up this year. They had a really good end of the season last year. They won a few games, pretty good. They won a pretty good streak. And I think I got them in 2nd. And then Green Bay 3rd. And then, of course, the Bears in 4th.
Yeah, and those are reasonable projections. I think obviously I'm biased towards the Packers. I think it could go either way with Green Bay. They could just like completely go in the toilet because Jordan Love isn't Aaron Rodgers and not the guy they expected. And on the other side, they could be a really good ball club because they have an improving defense with a lot of talent on it. And they've got Aaron Jones. They've got, my gosh, what was the other running back's name? Oh, my gosh, I hate that I can't remember his name. But they've got 2 good running backs, and they've got a Romeo Doubs and Oh my gosh, I forget their other wide receiver, but he's a young one. And they could be very effective. I mean, I think if you look at what Jordan did against the Eagles and the duty he had, because Aaron got hurt when they played Philly, and he came in and almost brought the Packers back to win that game. That was a real ray of hope to see him do that. He's a young, strong kid with a strong arm. Got a lot of football life in him. He's only 24, 25 years old. For a quarterback, that's very young. So there's a huge upside to Jordan. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, if not 4. Got to watch one of the best to ever do it. So there's that.
Yeah, exactly.
It could go either way there on that one. Let's switch over to the NFC South. And in NFC South, you've got this is a horrible division. You've got the Falcons, the Saints in that division, along with the my gosh, you got the Falcons, the Saints, the Buccaneers, and the Panthers. How do you look at that one? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait, can you say the teams again?
So the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Buccaneers.
Okay, Falcons. You know, this is a very, very confusing division.
To say the least.
Yeah, it's so like you can't really make a projection for them because it could go any way really, but I think then got the Panthers in first, Saints in second, Buccaneers in third, and Falcons in fourth.
Well, I think, and that's a very, very possible outcome. I mean, it's a terrible division. I'll say this: the Panthers are starting Bryce Young, the rookie out of Alabama. I think that's a huge mistake. That kid, they're gonna have to cart that kid off the field by week 6. I hate to say that, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to see him, being anyway. Look, he's too young. You can't give the keys to a rookie like that, particularly on a poor team.
Yeah.
I think they've got Andy Dalton. You got to give the keys to Andy. I know Andy Dalton is not all of that, but he's a veteran of about, I don't know, maybe 12, 11 years in the NFL. Give the keys to Andy Dalton and take your chances after 4 to 6 weeks, and then you can slide it over to Bryce if things are going south. And they're going to go south with Andy Dalton. But the thing is, that will give Bryce an opportunity to learn a few things. You can't just throw him out there like that. Anyway, that being said, I have no problem with the order you gave 1 through 4. It's a very poor division. NFC West is going to be interesting, however, and you've got the Rams, the 49ers in that division. And let's see, you got the Rams, the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Arizona Cardinals. So let's see if hopefully we will not lose my nephew Caleb Lopes here as we're looking at the NFC West. And right now, I think you got to put the 49ers number 1, the Rams 2, Seahawks 3, and the Cardinals 4. You can take 3, 4 in any form or order you want. But 49ers, this could be their year. If Brock Purdy is standing upright, they could win it all. That's the only team in my mind that could go to the Super Bowl from the NFC and actually hands down win it. But Purdy's going to have to stay healthy. NFC East is probably the most competitive, I think, division in football coming up with the Commanders, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. But the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to fight for the number 1 spot. But I'm going to go ahead and give number 1 to the Eagles, 2 Dallas. And the Commanders are going to be much improved, and I think they're going to make the playoffs this year. And I got the Giants coming in last. But that could be flip-flopped. I mean, the Giants are going to be playoff worthy, but it's the best division in football, so it could go either way there. We got Caleb back. We were talking about the NFC West with the Cardinals, the Rams, 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. 1 through 4, who do you got?
I got San Francisco in first, of course. First.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking how the Seahawks are developing that team. They've drafted in some pretty good guys this year, and that defense, it's looking pretty nice. It's Legion of Boom 2.0 maybe. And then San Francisco in first, Seahawks in second, and between the Cardinals and the Rams, that could go either way. But I think I got the Rams in third and the Cardinals in fourth.
I expect the Rams to be better this year, and I'm going to put them at 2 and Seattle at 3. Although everything you said about Seattle, I agree with. I don't know about the Cardinals. I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be available this year, and even if he is, I don't know that Kyler Murray is the guy that perhaps maybe we think he is. And I expect them to be dead last in that division. Let's switch over to the AFC, which is the best conference between the two. Loads of talent in the AFC. We'll start with the AFC North, where you've got the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cincinnati Bengals, all playoff teams in my mind. How do you size that division up?
That's a great division. One of the best in the league. But I got Bengals in first, of course. And between the Browns and the Ravens, it's a pretty hard choice. But I'm liking the Browns right now. But I'm going to put them at second. But it's going to be a really pretty close. That could really go flip-flop. And then Ravens in third and Steelers in fourth.
And it's just hard to pick. The division is just so good. But I think I will put Cleveland at number 1 simply because the Bengals take a while to get going. I don't know what it is in Cincinnati. Number 1, their line's terrible. I don't know how Joe Burrows is even able to operate behind that line, but he's a quick study. He's very smart, and he reads defenses. He's got Jamar Chase, and I mean, they're going to get it figured out, but kind of start out slow and pick up down the road, which could cost them as far as winning that division, because I just got this feeling in my gut that Deshaun Watson is getting ready to show off. Deshaun Watson with that running game and that Myles Garrett-led defense, dude, they're going to be a problem this year for the league. And I think Cleveland's going to be outstanding this year. It's just my gut feeling. Could be wrong. But if you know anything about Deshaun Watson and his capabilities and understanding that offense, he came in late, had to understand what they're trying to do, get familiar with his teammates. Deshaun Watson is a fabulous quarterback. And I think we're getting ready to get a really strong look at him. So I'm going to go with Cleveland and then Cincinnati.
I completely agree with you.
What's that?
I completely agree with you,
Yeah. I'll go with Cleveland, then Cincinnati, and then I'll go with Baltimore and then Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is clearly the weakest of those 4 just because I don't think Pickett is that dude. good quarterback. I like his potential, but he's in too tough of a division to maximize what Pittsburgh has. No shade on the Steelers. I just think they're going to be the weakest of the 4 in that division. Looking at the NFC South, AFC South, and I don't know, what is it about the South? That's a terrible division. Anyway, the AFC South, you've got the Titans, you got the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Houston Texans. Ugh. Anyway, your opinion, 1 through 4.
I definitely got the Jaguars in first.
Yeah.
I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to make a pretty big jump this year.
Okay.
And then the rest of those teams, they're just complete trash. Like, honestly, I think I got, I don't even know.
Well, yeah, the NFL needs to put the AFC and NFC out for trash in the morning.
Exactly.
But that being said, I do agree with you when you say Trevor Lawrence is on the uptick. He is. He played very well last year. They made the playoffs. They shocked everybody. And I got the Jags winning that division. They're the only ray of hope I really see in the AFC South. I mean, I look at the Titans, and they're just a confused bunch over there. I mean, you've got Derrick Henry, and I think you're looking at the results of a battered body.
Exactly.
He's been the guy that's made them relevant. Ryan Tannehill is nothing to write home about mom about at all. And matter of fact, mom would be like, "Why did you send me this letter?" So Ryan Tannehill, no, he's not the guy at quarterback. They don't have anybody at quarterback.
He really isn't.
I think. What's that?
He really isn't.
Yeah, no, he's not. And then Deshaun Hopkins just signed with the Titans. I don't know why. There's got to be an injury deal. There's got to be an age deal. I don't know. But Tannehill cannot get him the rock like I think he needs to get it. And I just don't think the Titans are going to be very good this year. And as you accurately stated about the remainder of the division, I mean, the Texans are really, really bad. And the Colts are really, really bad. And I just don't see a lot there. AFC East, a very interesting division with the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, the New England Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who you got?
I got the Bills in first.
Okay.
And then Jets. Actually, Bills in first, Dolphins in second, Jets in third. And that's not throwing no shade on the Jets. It's just because, like we talked about earlier, their schedule is killer, man. I got the Patriots in fourth. So
yeah, I think that's about how it's going to go down. I mean, as much as I don't want to agree with you that the Jets will probably be number 2, they probably will be the second best. The Bills are going to win that division. Bills had better win that division. Josh Allen had better make sure the Bills are Super Bowl ready. So I'm going to put them at number 1. The Jets, I think, definitely number 2. The Patriots, Dolphins, you take your pick 3, 4. Can't really figure the Dolphins out because if Tua is healthy, if they can protect Tua, and they have to make that priority 1, protecting Tua. And also Tua has to be able to get that ball out quick. Long story short, they could win the division. But those are a lot of ifs. There are too many ifs to take that seriously. So, yeah, they're probably going to be 3, 4. You take your pick, New England or Miami. I don't think Mac Jones is the answer at quarterback for New England. Okay, they love to talk about, Mac Jones is going to be the guy, and we really like his accuracy and all those different things. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Maybe you prove me wrong, but we move on to the AFC West, the final division that we're going to take a look at for today, which is also a very, very good division where you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, And also out west, it's the Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. How do you have them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your audio went out there, Caleb. Check your audio.
Is that better? That good?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. The Kansas City definitely going to win that division. And then the Chargers, I got them in second. And then between the Broncos and the Raiders, I feel like it's kind of like I find them they're two teams that could be good, but we're gonna have to find out what happens. But I'm gonna put, just because of the Broncos coaching, I'm gonna put the Broncos at third and the Raiders at fourth.
Okay. And I think that's accurate. That makes a lot of sense. I definitely think that's right down the line. When you look at the Broncos, and I would put them at 3. The Raiders are terrible. They just, they didn't just sign Jimmy Garoppolo, but he just passed his physical recently, which doesn't tell me a whole lot about his health going forward. He just can't seem to stay healthy. And if they don't have him healthy throughout the year, the Raiders are done. But the Broncos, I will say this one thing in Nathaniel Hackett's favor, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, there is no excuse for Russell Wilson to have played as poorly as he did last year. I don't care how bad the play calling is. Based on what we've all seen Russell Wilson do over the years, that was unacceptable play. And so, hey, wait a minute. There's a little squirrel scratching on my window, inquiring about a job in the NFL. I'm sorry, I can't control that. Anyway, the bottom line is, Nathaniel Hackett gets a job. Why can't a squirrel? Look, here's the reality. The Broncos have a lot of work to do. Sean Payton has a lot of work to do, and I don't know if Russell Wilson is going to be able to execute his offense the way Sean Payton seems to think that he can. We'll see. We're just making our prognostications. We're just guessing about what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. But right now, I don't see the Broncos doing a lot of work. I don't think that Russell Wilson's the answer, and they don't have a quarterback in Denver. And Drew Brees is definitely not coming out of retirement. So, yeah, I got them at 3 and the Raiders at 4. That's just my call on that. And that's the long and the short of it. And just for, grins and giggles, because I love the fact that training camp has started and, it's football is back. Who do you have for the Super Bowl? Just an early.
I got the Bills. I feel like they're coming back for revenge, and they really have to get to the Super Bowl this year. There's no excuses no more. And this, I either got the Bills on AFC, and then either the Eagles might come back to the Super Bowl, and I can also see San Francisco getting there too. So those are, and of course you can never count out Kansas City. So yeah, those are the 4 teams I really got getting there.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there right now. We're going to see a redo of last year's Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the Eagles. I want to say the 49ers, but I just don't think Purdy's going to make it 17 weeks. I hope I'm wrong about it, but he's kind of like into a situation. He's not a big guy. And if one of those grizzly bears gets their paws on him, he's done.
Yeah, you're right.
He's done. And so because of that, I'm going to go with the Eagles and the Chiefs. We're going to do a redo of last year's Super Bowl. We don't know. We're just talking and flapping our gums. We'll have fun watching it all unfold. That's for sure. Caleb, thank you so much for being on the show. I know you got football practice coming up with Treasure Coast Patriots, ladies and gentlemen. Nephew Caleb Lopes, my nephew, the field goal kicker on the #1 team, according to Prospects SI, that's Sports Illustrated in the nation for Little League football, AAU 13. He's probably going to end up being an All-American in a couple of years as a high school kicker, and certainly destined for major college play and the NFL. There's no doubt about it. And remember, hey, I saw that kid on the Maurice Brown show. You're darn right you're going to say that. You'll be able to say that. Caleb, once again, get ready for practice, and we'll see you. We'll probably be back on next Tuesday. I'll give you a call for another edition of the Maurice Brown Show with nephew Caleb Lopes, NFL edition. Caleb, have a good practice, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. See y'all. Have a good day, Maurice.
See that Dalmatian? Right up there. Isn't he pretty? It's a pretty one. I'll tell you right now, the more in the world that I like better than dogs. Oh, and you know what? There's another Dalmatian. Ain't that something? 2 Dalmatians in one day. The reason I say that is because they were just fighting. That Dalmatian. We're fighting. Fighting Dalmatians. I guess it goes to prove, even if we're the same color, we fight. I don't know if that makes any sense or makes me Martin Luther King or anything, but it's interesting. Thanks for watching the Maurice Brown Show.